Welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. Today we are at the Suburban Collection. And Ted, you can already feel the energy in the room today.
Sarah, you're so right. Amazing energy here with Lithia and the Suburban Collection. We had the leaders of the organization with us here. I'd like to ask them each today to introduce themselves and tell us what you do here and within the industry, starting here with Cody.
Hey everybody, my name's Cody Adams, multi-store general manager here at Suburban Collection. Been in the industry since 2012. Looking forward to share some great insight of what we do here at Suburban and Lithia.
All right, I'm Mike Cavanaugh. I'm a vice president here at Lithia. Been with the organization for a little over 5 years. Been in the auto industry most of my life. Outside of a little bit of time in the Marine Corps, grew up in the car business. Love it here. Probably my favorite thing I've ever done in my life is work here at Lithia. So happy to be here today and talking to you with these gentlemen.
John Chatzopoulos, platform general manager, supporting here stores locally in Troy and Southeast Michigan. Appreciate being here. Looking forward to the discussion.
Mike, I would love to come to you first. Today we're at the Lithia at Lithia, and it's amazing to see just all of the different employees, all the different dealerships that are along here that are part of the Suburban Collection. If you had to sum up Lithia's culture in just a few words, how would you describe it?
Okay, well, we keep it really easy because we've got four core values, and it's earn customers for life, take personal ownership, improve constantly, and have fun, right? So if we're going to summarize it, it's pretty easy because there's only four. But I would say that we always start with earn customers for life because that's the most important thing. You know, we've got big, beautiful buildings and we've got really expensive vehicles all over the place. But if we don't have customers, they just sit here, and there's really no point, right? So first and foremost, we have to earn customers for life. And the way that we do that is by taking personal ownership, right? And improving constantly at what we do every day. So we've got to take ownership of, how we care for our customers, how we handle the phones, how we handle customers and service, genuinely wanting to serve people. We have to improve constantly because we all make mistakes for humans, right? Because hard as we try to do things, as good as we train, we still fall short and we have to take personal ownership to improve at things. And last but not least, right? I mean, I consider both these guys my friends. You have to want to have fun and you want to enjoy the people that you work with. And the thing that I say often is that, I feel very fortunate because I love what I do. I love who I do it with and I love where I get to do it at. And I think that's really what makes this place a lot of fun.
Well, Cody and John, I'd love to get your perspective as well. How do you see Lithia's culture impacting your employees across these organizations?
John, you want to take it?
Sure. I think for me, well said, Mike, but, our intentionality with our people, our mission statement is growth powered by people, and how much we focus on, their development and their career path is really what kind of spoke to me with joining the organization, and now kind of seeing it come to light has been awesome for me. So
Yeah, truly. I mean, we have so many resources and so many team members and so many just people, customers to impact, and having a culture that supports you from almost every corner of business or personal development, professional development. You can simply just read on the walls of what we really stand for, and when you walk in, you can really feel it. So Lithia as a culture, it is truly impactful with just, as Mike and John were explaining, just our core values. It's a great place to be, and very supportive.
Cody, I want to come to you with a follow up. You oversee, as you mentioned, several stores here with the Suburban Collection at Lithia. What's one thing about working here that you find surprises people the most, both employees and the external customers as well?
Yeah, internally, it surprises me every day. I can pick up the phone. I have people call me from different states, and the funny thing is, the fundamentals are all the same, and we can pick up a phone and you can get resources from anybody here, and you can be inspired by anybody from just entering their career here with Lithia, and you can call someone that's been here 10 years from a different state, and we're all just simply trying to get and accomplish the same thing, and that's truly earning a customer for life, right? And the surprising thing is every single day I wake up, I get to learn something new. And it's truly impactful for me just because I am a firm believer of like an iron sharpening iron kind of guy. And this this industry is changing. The services are changing. The expectations are changing. And the beautiful thing about it is I have a different mindset that I can reach out to at any time, right? And that is very surprising internally, and that can go from ground up an individual that starts their career to someone that has tenure over 20, 30 years. For a customer, look at these facilities, right? We stand for something that means we want to earn we want to earn our customers' business for life. And we have everything designed for our customer outreach. We are reaching out for customers. We're delivering to their doorstep. So we're trying to get customers back in to do business with us on a maintenance or a heavy mechanical side, buying a vehicle, and talking about their individuals and their family. We really want to earn customers in a way of a longevity time period. So that's extremely surprising to me.
Mike, anything you want to add to that?
I would say that one thing that I hear surprises a lot of people is the level of humility that a lot of folks have. Is that it's a core part of being a leader here is humble confidence. And we've talked about that a lot. And it's one of the reasons that I joined the company, a little over 5 years ago, is when I met our CEO and our COO at the time. These are very successful people in the automotive industry, but they're just down to earth, good people that want to work hard, provide a good opportunity for their employees to continue to grow and serve their community. And I think that's something that's surprising to people as they think of these big publicly traded dealer groups, and they think of us as the biggest, the largest publicly traded dealer group in the world. And they think it's a very stuffy, corporate, overly complex organization, but it's not at all, right? It's very decentralized. And I think that's something that's very surprising to people that have a very different perception than what reality really is here.
Yeah. John, anything you want to add to that? I'm sorry.
I would say our intentionality with people. We focus so much on the people development and understand that, they have aspirations and they have a career path, and, we're part of that, right? We kind of set that tone, and seeing that, I think, really surprises people because, in a normal organization, you might get stuck where we're looking at it and we're like, hey, are you ready to go? Come on. Are you ready to take the next step? And sometimes, we've talked about that. We might do it a little too fast, where growth comes too fast and everybody has these expectations. But I would say for me, the surprising part would be how fast we develop people.
John, I love hearing that because, growth and being mindful of what opportunities, somebody wants to take in their career and pushing them maybe when they're not ready, but they are ready. Maybe they're not thinking that they're ready. That's such a critical part of, development, especially with our younger generations as they enter automotive. I would love to get your perspective. How do you keep the team energy high when you have so many locations?
I would say probably starts with recognition, and recognition probably looks different at every store, right? And Mike talked about this early on when we started working together. He said we give people freedom within their framework, right, and earned autonomy. And if somebody's earned that right to, run their own play, then so be it. And so when you think about what recognition looks like at different stores, we have some of our leaders that do simple things like give a person a brick, and that brick is part of building a foundation, and that's kind of the theme behind it, and it's aligned with our core values. You have other stores with technicians that for whoever turns the most hours gets, like a big gold chain. And I think it's allowing our leaders to figure out what's right for their store and how they're going to recognize our people, kind of keep spirits high, and obviously compensation, right? We all come to work to make money. And I think, with the way we look at our compensation, it aligns with, what we expect and what will make you, successful and bring money out.
To follow up on what John just said, if I want to ask a question to Cody and Mike, a lot of this speaks to consistency and culture. Mike first and then Cody. How do you maintain that consistent culture while allowing each store to have its own identity?
I would say it all starts with the right people in the right seats in the leadership role. So, the general manager role is something that we put a lot of focus on at Lithia, right? That it is get the general manager right, get that role right. Make sure you got the right leader that, lives our core values, operates the business the right way, understands how to, push the team in a healthy way, but stay within the lines of, compliance, legal, keep everybody out of trouble, so to speak, build a good culture. But if you get that one person right, everything else is easy. You don't need a big corporate team to micromanage everything that happens. You just need good leaders that really want to invest in their department leaders that teach and demonstrate how to help, them develop the folks that are in advisor roles, sales roles, finance manager roles, but ultimately get that general manager role right. When you've got, hundreds of stores across 3 different countries, that is an extremely important role. So I think that's something that we put a lot of focus on, is how do we get that role right every time?
Anything to add to that?
Absolutely. I think early in my career, I'm sitting here talking to Mike, and he said, "Speed of the leader is speed of the ship. Take personal ownership." And it was pretty wild to me, when you go and talk to a technician, right? And you can have some gloomy days, but one person can really change something really. Yes, that's one thing where you look in the eye, you just give them a positive reinforcement and just say, "Hey, you got this," right? We really can actually make so much of that internally, and that just spreads, right? So keep the culture in multiple stores with multiple locations, right? You have to trust your team members quite a bit, and there's a lot and responsibility. But hey, if you take personal ownership with that and actually make an impact with your team to go get where you want to go.
Can I share one more thing that's
Please.
important? And this was something that our chief people officer, Gary Glandon, shared with me years ago, but it's something that I think everybody should hear.
Okay.
And it helps culture, is that you have to remember that every single person that works at your company is somebody's son or somebody's daughter, right? And I think it's relevant because all the work we do with Northwood and a lot of the interns and the Dart folks that we've had come through here, it's a lot more relevant because you can see them being somebody's son or somebody's daughter. And we have an obligation, right? Not just to have a good culture, but to have a culture that you would want your own son or daughter to come to work in every day. As a leader, you have a responsibility to make certain decisions, and you have a responsibility to pull the bad apples out when you know they're bad. And that's a weakness we've had in the automotive industry for a very long time, is we've let bad actors and probably the wrong people stick around too long because maybe they sold a lot of cars, right? But as a leader, how do you maintain that culture? Is you have zero tolerance over, I would say, the nonsense, and you performance manage the underperformers out, and you make sure that if there's bad behavior, it's unacceptable.
Well, on that note, Mike, today we're going to get a chance to meet the people of your organization.
Great.
So we are looking forward to that. With a different twist today, we are going to have the interviews conducted by the students of Northwood University here in Michigan. And Mike, I know Northwood holds a special place in your heart as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've got my undergrad and my MBA there as well, too, thanks to Mr. Matt Bennett recruiting me over there to come back for that. I actually was going to the University of Michigan to get my joint JD MBA, and he said, "I think Northwood's a better choice." And so I always said he missed his calling in the car business. He was a good closer.
He's a great closer. Yep. So today we'll meet the people of Lithia, the Suburban Collection, and we'll have those interviews conducted by some of the best automotive and best marketing and management students in the country at Northwood University. So, gentlemen, thank you for having us in to give us this opportunity. Thank you. Sarah, we're looking forward to it.
It's going to be an incredible day, Ted.
All right. So I'm Ted Ings with Sarah Vantine. We're here at Lithia, the Suburban Collection in Troy, Michigan. A lot ahead. We will be right back.